Hello and welcome to Flory Models Kit View Time. Today we've got Airfix's latest release. This is the legendary 1/48 scale Supercat Jaguar GR.1 GR.1A version. And boy, have we been waiting quite a while for this one. Now don't get me wrong, I built many years ago the not so brilliant Kitty Hawk Jaguar, which is fine as a kit as long as you have everything open. If you have everything open, it's not so much of a problem, and actually turns out to be not a bad kit because it's got everything that we wanted. So it's obviously got recessed details, it's got very fine engraving, it's got internals, it's got all the various bits and pieces. But it was just a little bit of a handful, and let's face it, Kitty Hawk, the instructions are a little bit sort of, all over the place. And as I said before, it has got a problem where if you do want to close it all up, nothing actually fits. The doors don't fit at all, so they're all too small and all the rest of it. So what we've been waiting for is somebody to come along and do a Jaguar would do it justice. And obviously, who's going to do it any better than Airfix themselves? Because obviously they can get their hands on one, they get to look around one, they can scan one, they can do it everything else. And also my very good friend of mine, Pranjit at Airfix, designed this particular kit as well. So it's really nice to know that he's behind it. So hopefully he's done it justice, because if anybody can do it, he can. All right. So anyway, into the box. We are greeted by beautiful box art. Obviously, these are the ones down in Desert Storm, as well as we can see. So it's got some nice touches, obviously, with the overwing sidewinders fitted to it and things like that. So very nice indeed. Running around on the box, blurb. It's a big box. I do have to say, it's a massive box. Kit number is A11010. And then down on here, why do Airfix do that? I insist on doing that. We've got a few of the actual call outs for the particular ones we got down in here. So we've got a Lossy Mouth one at the top, the 54 Squadron. I must admit, I do like the markings from that one. We've got one from Cottishall, number 6 Squadron, obviously incredibly famous squadron as well. And then obviously we've got the ones down in here from Granby, the ones that were sent to the Gulf. And then last down the bottom as well, we've got one with 11 Squadron in Germany in 1976 as well. So again, some really nice options. And if you know me, you know I love the full wraparound camo. So I've done it on all mine before, and obviously we did Snowcat, the last Jaguar we did as well. So this is a brand new kit. I haven't looked in it. I haven't seen anybody else's reviews. So all of my thoughts and ramblings and all the rest of it, as always, are my own. And I've even bought the kit. So I wasn't given this. I wasn't sent one or anything else like that. I physically bought the kit. So yes. So we are greeted by a massive box. And the reason it is so big is we can see we've got some big old sprues in here as well. So normal thing with Airfix, we've got a couple of bits in each bag. All right, but that is a massive sprue. That's a huge sprue, which they could have chopped up into smaller sections by the looks of it, but they elected to go for it in one giant sprue like this. And then just because it's got a massive sprue as well, we've got the bottom one down in here. All right, so big old sprues for this particular one. And always we have got our instructions and paperwork. So if we just drop the camera just a little bit so we can get this in. Inside here we are greeted by the decals, which are very nice. I'll look at those in a moment. Full old colour pull-outs, usual bits and pieces, as we can see down in here. And then we've got some of the situations with this one about what you're going to have it, how you're going to have it fitted out, and all the rest of it straight off of here. So again, you can see down in here for the underwing and overwing points as well, if you're going to have them fitted or not. That's why it's calling out these ones early on in the instructions. All right, so straight into it. We got some decals, which are obviously for the cockpit sidewalls and for the instrument panels right the way through on this one. Again, we've got two types of seat as well. So we've got the Mark II and we've got the Mark III, Mark 9 marking beta type seats as well. So again, if you're doing A and D or B and C, you can do them just like that as well. All right. So basically what we're saying in here is obviously B and C being the slightly lighter tape as well. They've got the different pilot figure if you wanted to fit it down in there as well. Another thing as well, it's talking about down in here some of the stencil areas and things like that, positions of all these different things down in here early on in the instructions, which is a little bit different because sometimes they're amongst them, but it's quite nice now that they've got them separate for this particular call out all the way through. So straight into it. Over on the cockpit, you can use, obviously, if you wanted to, the decals, but obviously you have got raised details down in here. If you do want to paint them up all yourself, you can do that one as well. And then obviously down in here, we've got the instrument panel being fitted. And then obviously we've got the rear bulkhead being fitted into the cockpit, the seat, whichever one you've decided to do, all the various details going down on there as well. And obviously it's got the stencil call outs with it. all the way through, as you can see, depending on which one it is, and then you can fit the seat down in here. You might want to wait till a little bit later, clearly. Then we've got the nose wheel well system. So obviously that one's been all fitted together and going through in there, and obviously being painted various colours depending on the situation for it. A little bit of sidewall detailing and all the rest of it. Right, okay, this is something I do know about because Pranjit's sort of legendary for doing this, and it really helps the modeller. So basically he's done a jig. This is a jig, so when you're cutting off the nose, you know exactly where to go from, because obviously down in here as well, we've got two types of nose on this particular one. So again, you've got the one with the chiseled front or with the normal front onto it as well. All right, so depending on which one you're going to do, you're going to have to cut off the front onto this one. You have got to do it on both sides, but he has done a jig for you to sanding it and making sure it's all nice and all good as well. Good man. All right, so if you are going to go with sort of pointy nose, as I call it, you can fit this one up in here. Obviously, you've got the chiseled one down in here. You've got it on here. So again, just depending on which version you want to do with this one. All right, so making your way through on this one, we've actually got the actual main gear areas, getting them sorted, put together and putting those into there as well. And obviously we've got these little ones at the back, which are going to be for the speed brake areas and things as well, no doubt. All right, so we've got all of those being fitted down into this one as well. So again, pretty much straightforward down in this one as well. Is pointing at as well, making sure that you've got the holes aligned correctly on the underside, making sure they all line up as well. All the Jaguars and pretty much every kit I've ever known has always had this way. So you've got this bottom plate which goes on, which might seem annoying, but I think it's the only way you can do it because it's got a V shape on this in-cut here. And to injection mold this, as in being part of these, is not going to work because you can't go round the other side. All right, so they've all got this sort of plate that fits in underneath, which is fair enough. Then we've got the nose section is going to fit into the fuselage, which tells me we've got a T2 version coming down the line. Purely because the way this is a plug-in fit, again, Pranjit's taking his time with this one to make sure it's a really nice fit. So if you do want to put the slightly longer two-seat version one onto this one later on, you can do that as well. So that's what's preparing us for that. Then we've got, I think it's the Aiden gun pods being fitted down onto the sides here with the actual muzzles areas fitting on those ones as well. We've got those tail strapes being fitted down underneath. And again, you've got an alignment guide, which is very nice indeed. Then we are over to here. So again, another little touch as well, which is really, really nice, is that he's provided you with a jig for lining up to make the intakes all nice and square all the way through. Now, the only thing is I'm looking at this as well, that we haven't got blow-in doors, so it looks like you're going to have them fitted in sort of, you know, sort of stationary static position. I think they are spring-loaded, so obviously when you go full beans with it, it sucks in more air, it opens up these side doors so it can pull in more air. Think Harrier. All right, so it's the same type of thing with these ones as well. All right, but obviously it looks like they are just molded into the one position. Don't forget to open up your wing holes if you're doing that one as well. Pretty much I think everybody will be, but make sure you do it now because it's going to be a right pain to try and find them later. All right, then obviously you've got this little nodule on the top here, depending on which one you're going to do. You're going to remove that and then open up the hole for obviously another one being fitted down into this one. Wing parts going together, and don't forget, use your closed pegs. So you've got closed pegs going in there, not provided. Wait an hour. Just saying. How many of us are going to wait an hour? Just saying. Anyway, box section, obviously for that goes on top. Plate goes into the middle. Then we've got the air scoop going on the top. I think this was for the electronics stuff and all the gizmos down in there as well. I have a little air scoop on the top. So that one's all fitted down in there as well. We've got the tail being fitted on there. So you've obviously got the front and rear radar warning receivers going onto it as well. Again, that tells me, because I don't think the trainer has them. So I think that's another reason why I'm thinking we're going to see a trainer version down the line. All right, so those being fitted down onto that one. Then we've got the engines being fitted down onto the back of these ones. Again, we don't get full engines or anything else like that. So these are just going to be a plug-in and they're going to fit right up to the burner flame holders. The afterburner are going to be fitted down onto that one as well. Chaff and flare buckets down the back being fitted on there. Depending if you're going to go with the full over-wing sidewinder rails, or you're just going to have the fence onto the actual wing. Obviously, take your pick with that one. Nice touch. Obviously, we have got flaps down, which obviously Jaguar flaps down just looks so much better. All right, so again, we've got all of those fitted in, and we've got slats at the front. So if you want to do those deployed, which I highly recommend you do because it makes it a lot more interesting. The gear, Jaguar's legendary gear. It looks really complicated. It is complicated, but again, some nice steps all the way through in here, telling you what to glue and what not to glue, and all the way through. Take your time, read through it first, familiarise you with yourself, then fit it into it. That's all I'm going to say with this one. Then obviously we've got the main gear being fitted down onto this one. We've got the nose gear being fitted, pretty much standard. all the way through, so that's very nice indeed. And then it looks a little bit busy in here, but obviously he's just pointing it out. So we've got the doors, and we've got obviously the speed brakes in the open position, the various parts down in here as well. If you're doing it ground, do it speed brakes open, because obviously they deploy them when it's powered down, and then obviously have the flaps down because it just looks cool. Then obviously we've got the nose gear doors being fitted, or you can have them opened. I think by its nature it has the forward sections closed anyway, but if you wanted to have them, the main gear ones open and obviously the bottom ones, you have got an option to do that, which I think they do it for maintenance and things. All right, arrestor hook being fitted to the back, those being fitted on. We've got some, I think they're bleed vents down under the bottom down on there as well. And then obviously we've got the pitot tubes, and obviously we've got the front one as well being fitted down onto there. I think we've got AOA sensors as well being fitted down onto this one. The aerials and lights being fitted across the back, as you might imagine, right the way through. I think that's the ILS aerials being fitted down to the side as well, being fitted on this one. I think that's a vent for the rear fuel on the back. Nice touch. Looks like we've got FOD buckets on this one as well. So we've got some FOD covers going down in there. Fit your pilot figure, canopy open or closed, all right? Or as you could do, as a lot of Jeep canopies do, they just have it ajar, as I would call it. All right, pylons going right the way through down into this one, pretty standard all the way into this one. We've got the jammer pod, obviously we've got the fuel tanks as well down in here. We've got, I think these are 1,000-pound free-fall bombs being fitted down in here, although I presume you can have retarded onto that as well and all the rest of it, depending on the tail. Then we've got a centre line being fitted down onto this one as well. So obviously we've got big down on the middle down here, depending on which weapons you want, colours and all the rest of it. We do get the recce pod as well, which is quite nice. So that's the reconnaissance pod. Obviously Jaguar famous for being armed reconnaissance. Very nice indeed. And then last up, which is a personal favourite of mine, love Jags with the overwing sidewinders fitted to them as well. That completes the build. Pranjit, you've done a great job. I can see that's the first time I've genuinely looked at those instructions, and they are absolutely fantastic. Very nice. Okay, nice colour sheet as well. So we've got all the colour call-outs down in here. All right, it's always in Humbrol colours, but you know what I mean. It's easy to do a cross-reference with these ones as well. And in fact, it's quite nice because they've got the BS numbers down in here for these ones as well. And even making up your desert sand colour. Was it Dulux, or who did the paint colours for it? I can't remember now. I know it was a normal paint company who did them. But anyway, very nice as well. And again, we have got the reconnaissance pod as well, which is a nice touch. So we've also got colour sheets. And these are individuals, not a giant pull-out one, which is quite a nice touch with these ones as well. So obviously we've got the Granby version. Very nice as well. So it's Buster Gonad. Obviously, you know, well, let's just say if you don't know Viz, you're not old enough to do it. So we've got that one down in there. Then obviously, personal favourite of mine as well. We've got the full wraparound camo, which I think just looks very cool on these ones as well. So again, some nice touches with those ones as well with 11 Squadron. And then down in here, again, my sort of personal favourite 6 Squadron. Very nice indeed. And then obviously with the can openers. And then obviously down in here, we've got the Lossy 154 Squadron, which I've done many times as well. This one's got obviously the grey underside as well. Very, very nice. So, decals. Pretty much what we'd expect. That's basic. The days of Airfix's decals being horrendous as they used to be, I do believe these are cartographed, but again, just really, really nice. You can see, given the ones on these. The only one is these are always doing this way, and I don't know why, but again, it's one of those ones that you can cut this out, put it down, and then afterwards cut round it, and then take out the carry film out the middle. Little tip for you. All right. Okay. Let's get into the plastic. Where's the fuselage? Where is the fuselage? This is the bit we want. All right. So, what have I done with the knife? Literally, just here it is. Okay. So, in one, we have now. Let's start fuselage, and then we'll move into the wings. So. Interesting how they've done this. Again, it's what I mean by that is, because you know, this is me talking to myself, but it's interesting how they've offset it. So it's almost sort of slide molded the way that they've done the part. So again, very, very complicated way of doing it. Very nice indeed. I can honestly say it's a harder plastic than we're used to. All right, it's clinky, not chinky, as I used to call it. It's clinky plastic. All right, so it's hard. It's nice. It's not the soft soapy stuff. This is the nice stuff. And again, straight off the bat, really, really impressed by the detailing. Detailing looks lovely. And again, the riveting looks nice. All the sort of details absolutely looks gorgeous on this. Very, very nice indeed. Just some of the details like down in here. Hopefully the camera's going to do this justice because it is very, very nice. And the details around the back end as well. Looking very good. Obviously got A1 and A2 for both sides. But even just down in here, you've got the, hopefully the light trying to catch it. Difficult for the light to catch it because it's a convex surface, but hopefully you can see how nice that generally is all the way over. Really, really fine, crisp details. And again, we've got raised details down the back here, if you can hear it. So we've got raised rivets down in here, and we've got the recessed ones all around the sort of clamshell, as I call it, down the back here as well with the metalwork. Really very, very nice indeed. Also, another nice touch, it's not just a hole for this to go through. If you look, it's got a big locating joint in here. So when the tail planes get fitted into this, they're going to be solid and not flapping all over in the wind. So again, really very, very nice indeed. Right the way down onto the underside. It's beautifully done, very well molded. I like this, the way they've sort of done it in the mold like this. It's obviously worked because what you've got is it's the parts across the top here. If you can see the panel lining, this bit's in the way now, but it goes across and then up and round. There's no difference in it. It doesn't go it fades out into the corners. It is strong and sharp all the way through. So I'd have to say that's got to be a step up from what we've seen from Airfix. And even we've got all the riveting down in here. So don't get me wrong, there shouldn't be riveting all on these big areas because it doesn't have it. It's all, you know, puttied out and all the rest of it. But in the areas where it does have it, it's got it. And it looks absolutely fantastic. Very, very nice indeed. Right. Another beautiful one is this wing top. The riveting looks absolutely fantastic. You've got some raised bits in here as well, but the recessed riveting of the panel line is as sharp as we've seen on anything before. In fact, I'd go as far to say this has got to be the sharpest Airfix has ever done. I've never seen anything quite that sharp and detailed from Airfix. In fact, I don't think I've seen it from a lot of companies. That's really nice. That's got to be a step up. All right. Again, down on here on the tail planes, all the details there, the inspection holes and all the rest of it, really very, very nicely done. The underside of these wings with the riveting and all the details down in here. It's a shame it's a matte plastic because it's hiding from sight, because again, it's one of these ones that if I can catch it in the light, trying to catch it, it's very, very difficult because it's a matte finish, but the detail is all here. It looks fantastic. Very, very nice indeed. The other clue, of course, is we've got two pilots. The pilots don't look too bad. They're not generic-y ones. They look pretty much of the era and all the rest of it, but we have got two. So we're thinking we're going to get the two-seater down the line as well. On the underside as well, as you can probably see, the ejector pins have been burred back a little bit, which is quite nice. All the rest of them, the inlet ones down in here, everything is good, sharp and tidy. We've got the tail. Again, looking very, very nice indeed. Don't have any problems or reservations with any of that. What to do with the giant bag that I just came out of. Okay, so then down into the next giant sprue. Dear Airfix, can we have smaller sprues and smaller boxes, please? We've got massive bags, but as you can see, this is almost too big for the camera. It's huge, 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 huge. All right, so what we'll do is, I think we'll try and start. This is sprue H. All right, so again, forward area down here. This is razor sharp, this edge, so it's going to be really nice to fit into and all the rest of it. Inside cockpit detail, we've just got a little bit going down in here, but not much at all. But over on here, obviously, we've got the ones. What does stand out, though, and looks really, really nice is this. So that's your instrument panel with a giant moving map in the middle, all analog, beautiful. And the rear bulkhead, really nice touches of detail with both of those all the way through. And again, we've got the forward instrument panel sort of combing over the top. looks very nice. We've got HUD detail, stuff like that in there as well. So that looks all very, very nice indeed. This here is your chopping off section. So this is what's going to then fit to the nose, and then you know where to make the chop off, both sides as well. So it's both of those. All right, the side winders are really nice as well, really crisp and sharp. You've got everything, including the tiny little gyros on the tops of the side winders, which is nice. Recce pod looks good, very, very nice. Jammer pods and the Bose pod, very, very nice. The weapons, obviously we've got 4,000 pounders down in here. And then over down in here, we can see we've got the instrument panel sides, which are really very detailed, really nice, beautifully done. Chaff buckets have got no detail on them at all, because normally they have holes in the end of them for obviously the cartridges to be loaded in, but it doesn't have anything on that. Again, a bit difficult to show, but there we go. That's all the detail. Very, very nice indeed. Okay. Giant bags, huge bags. This one here to be able to get in it. Okay, next couple of screws. Okay, I'll tell you what, let's do the big one. So down in here, you could actually break these all off to make them a bit easier, and that's what I am going to do because it's too big. All right. So this is sprue G. That's better. All right, so again, we've got the ring pull for the ejection handle, top of the seats. Obviously, we've got twin seats down in here as well for both the types of seats. So we've only got one seat because this is obviously, it's not two. These aren't the same, I don't think. I think they're separate. Yeah, they are. So this is obviously the Mark II and the Mark III and the Mark IX. Getting confusing now. All right, that actually looks very nice. So we can expect to see a set G coming down with a two-seater. Okay, so over on here we've got the fuel tanks. Again, that classic sort of teardrop shape, bigger, then gets smaller at the bottom. Looks very, very nice indeed. We've got the, again, starboard and port for the actual FOD covers. Again, nice touch with this one. And then again, we've got the pylons and all the areas all look pretty good. Very nice. No problem. We've got the fences. Look good. Okay, so this is sprue E. So on E, we've got obviously gear parts, actuators, things like that. We've got the vents for the gun. Down in here, we've got the gun covers themselves. We've got the top ones, some of the air scoops, things like that. Some of the tiny, tiny little details down in here, as you can see, for the aerials. We've got the pitos, the angle of attack sensors, the lumps and bumps right the way over this one, all the way through. Again, looking very, very nice indeed. Good job. Okay, this is sprue C. So down here on sprue C, this is that bottom section. Again, it's very difficult to mold those panel lines and details down in this V if it was on the other one, so they've done them. Again, it is a shame we don't have the blow-in doors as an option where you could do them with open or closed. You know, for the sake of two more parts, having them in the open position or closed. But yeah, okay, can't have everything. Again, we've got the main flaps. We've got the ailerons. We've got those strafes down the bottom. We've got the engine mounting plate, I assume that is as well. The engines themselves, which look pretty nice all the way through. So obviously this is your flame holder for the afterburner. It's going to fit down into the cans. And then also got inner and outer parts for those ones as well. Got the slats over here. Looks nice. All right, very good. Okay, another big sprue down in here we can't break down, which is sprue, yeah, whichever one this is. All right, so jumbo sprue down in here. So we've got various parts all over this one. All right, so if we start at the top, we've got the nose gear doors, nose wheels. We've got weight on wheels, obviously low pressure tyres on the Jag. All right, got the rear bulkheads for the doors. We've got the nose wheel door as well, which has got some very nice details on the back of the door, which is good. And then obviously we've got the main gear doors, wheel doors, if you want to call them like that. There's no detail on those whatsoever, so it is worth just buttoning them up. Main gear wheel wells, things like that. Various ones all the way through. Nose wheel speed brake. So down in here, we've got the speed brake, looks good. And again, nice, we haven't got any ejector pins on the back of the speed brake, so that's a nice touch. All the way through, roof of the nose wheel. Again, not going to see any of it, but hey, it's all there. All right, and then all the other parts down like that. Very, very nice indeed. Okay, last up, we've got the clear parts. Let's go there. So, crystal clear. No problem with those clear parts at all. I'm doing that way, it's probably the easiest way. Very, very nicely done. Again, totally clear. So we've got the nose. Obviously, if you can have the chisel nose onto it, obviously hug glass, things like that. So very nice with those as well. And then this little guy, I assume, is for all your lights. Get it out. There we go. Sprue M, just all the lights. Things like that down in there, like that. Wow. Really very, very nice. I know there's going to be people out there going to say, well, it hasn't got an engine and it hasn't got any bays open and all of those things. At the end of the day, we just want a Jaguar, and we've now got a Jaguar. Yeah, I've got it over there, and I've got obviously the Kitty Hawk one, and it's got everything open on it. You've got the guns open onto it. I've done the doors all open onto it because it's got detail right the way through it. But the reality is Jags don't have everything open anyway. Normally they're buttoned up. All right, they might have a couple of nose panels open as well through pre-flight, but generally I think we've got everything we've wanted here. What we have got, though, I think, is some of the finest recessed details I've ever seen on an Airfix kit, ever. It's just so much sharper and crisper than I think of anything we've seen before. So from my point of view, with every kit I review, I like to see an improvement over the last. I like to see companies making it a way forward. Tamiya, Jaguar, some of the AAA titles that I've been reviewing for the last 25 years, in my mind, aren't making any progress at all. We're seeing the same stuff. Nothing's really pushing ahead. But it's nice to see other companies, Airfix especially, is still pushing the boundaries of what is possible and what they can deliver for a certain price at the end of the day without going stupid and calling it a 100 quid kit. So again, I think it's a really nice kit. Really nice price point. We are obviously going to see some other versions of this. I can see it going through here. Obviously, we're going to see a two-seater, which would be very nice as well. So we get the early two-seater trainer, and obviously we'll get the late one, I imagine, when we're going to go down sort of GR3s, is it, and all the rest of it. And obviously we're going to get the later version of the Jaguar as well, which obviously be quite nice, because if you like the sort of more, you know, later versions as well, and some of the schemes that they came out for those ones, especially the retirement schemes, it'll be really nice to see that in the future. So I think from Airfix's point of view, what they've done with this one is going to get some mileage out of it. We're going to see an early and late version. I assume we'll see a trainer that'll come as one box with an early and late into that one box as well, which will be quite nice. And then later on, hopefully we'll get the sort of, you know, the later, especially with the retirement schemes and things like that that are available to it as well, with the Jaguar as well. The Jaguar is a beautiful aircraft. It looks quite small, but it's not. It's a little bit deceptive because the wings are quite small on it. But trust me, it is quite a lump when she's all done. And I think with this particular one, it's going to be well worth it. Also, I love the options that they've come with this one. We've got a Granby one as well, which is really nice in the desert schemes. And again, we've obviously got full wraparound camo, half wraparound camo, as I call it, and everything in between. So you've got pretty much everything you could want straight out of the box. I've got to say, Pranjit, mate, I know you'll watch this. You've knocked it out of the park with that one. I think that's easily your best work to date. Anyway, that is the beautiful Airfix 148 scale Jaguar GR1 and GR1A.